Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my hand deck. Bit under the weather today, so I hope you guys will bear with me. This deck was requested by Darkblader of Ra. It was also requested by Yugioh Eldridge. And hands are a new deck type. They're a pretty small archetype, but with more support from other stuff, they can be pretty annoying to deal with. They have really good ability to annoy your opponent and keep recycling and special summoning. So a big part of them is just controlling your opponent and limiting their resources and just, being able to keep reusing everything they have. So it can be very effective as you whittle down your opponent's resources. So Fire Hand, just blowing up your opponent's monsters and special summoning Ice Hand. Again, just annoying your opponent. That's basically what the hands are going to do. Ice Hand similarly destroys a spell or trap and special summons Fire Hand. So they keep going between each other, keep blowing up your opponent's resources very quickly. And then we're running Prominence Hand. So a lot of people aren't running this because they're focusing more on just the depletion of resources and not really XYZing. So it's up to you. I'm running this because I want to have more of an XYZ deck type. But again, just up to you. I'm trying it out. There's a lot of different things that you could try to do with this deck type. And then Kagetokage will be normal summoning a lot of level 4s for this deck, so this will give us some nice power to do some XYZs. And then Traptrix. So Traptrix are kind of running with this deck really nicely to blow up your opponent's resources, continually using those whole cards. So very, very nice. So running Myrmeleo and Dionaea, giving us access to recycling and XYZing and things like that. So both very effective. And then to Pot of Dichotomy. Pot of Dichotomy very good for this deck because we have Pyro, Aqua, Reptile, Insect, and Plant. So we have good options to get this and get that draw power and recycle. Recycling's pretty good because of the way that the hands can keep using each other. And then to Soul Charge. So Soul Charge obviously allowing us to make more plays. The Traptrix get additional effects when they're special summoned, so that can be very useful. And then Book of Moon, Dark Hole, MST, Forbidden Lance, very nice for this deck. You don't want your hands to get like banished or things like that, so that can be very nice. And then for the traps, obviously going to have a lot because we want to keep using our opponent's resources and we want to get supported by the hole cards. So Traptrix, Trap Hole, Void Trap Hole, Dimensional Prison, Fiendish Chain, other stable traps, Bottomless obviously. The holes are obviously very important for the deck, so allowing you to keep reusing them. You can use it more if you want, but I think I like sticking with about 3 or 4 depending. And then for the extra deck, obviously going to have a lot of 4-star XYZs. Daigusto, like I was saying with Dichotomy, very, very helpful for this deck. Maestroke, Gagaga, Crazy Box, useful if you get skill drained. Fairy King, Photon. I'm trying out 2 new XYZs from Primal Origin. So Ragnazero and Rhapsody. Rhapsody more of a tech card. Ragnazero I think is just going to be very useful overall. So I'm messing with him and seeing how it can be useful for this deck. Lavalval Chain can be useful to mess with some graveyard stuff. Fairy King, the Traptrix are Earth, so that allows us to get that out. Abyss Dweller, obviously we also have Ice Hand, so that can be a bit more powerful. And then Exciton Knight, Silent Honor, Ouroboros, just because we do have some swarming, and Diamond Direwolf. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, in my side decks, I just kind of talk about recommended cards that you can also use for this deck if you want, but it's up to you. Not meant to be a side deck for matches, so don't try to think of it that way. Magic Hand is the other hand in the archetype, kind of the oddball, doesn't really make much sense with the deck type, but if you want to use it, you can. Goblindbergh can be useful to do more special summoning and swarming. Again, Traptrix is a benefit from special summoning, so that can be very, very nice. And you can run Dragon Rulers with this and do some other plays. You can run Frost and Flame Dragon because you are able to bring this out pretty easily, but I don't think it's really worth it. Thunder King Rayo, when you're doing more of a stun kind of lockdown with this deck, can be useful. Mother Grizzly can search out Ice Hand, which is nice. Summoner Monk, another way to get some of this stuff out. You can also run this deck with Spirits. That's a build I've been seeing, which is kind of interesting to do more swarming and more resource depletion. Pot of Duality, you can run this, but it runs in the way of a lot of the stuff you're doing. Supply Unit, when it comes out, could be useful for this deck because we're expecting a lot of things to get destroyed, so this can give us some draw power. Black Garden, if you want to control your opponent even more, this can be very annoying for them. You can run this deck with rank ups. Hands have their own rank up in addition, so that's another choice you could make. Obviously, in an XYZ heavy deck, rank ups can be interesting. And then Spirit Barrier, if you want to just keep baiting your opponent to attack you and not worrying about damage, you can keep using that for the hand, so that's interesting. Skill Drain, another very useful card that you can run in this deck to blow up your opponent and control them. And Black Horn of Heaven, other traps that just deal with your opponent, can be useful because, again, we're just focusing on resource depletion, so cards like this can be really nice. So that's my hand deck. pretty simple, just focusing on XYZing and depleting your opponent's resources, making them get punished for, attacking you and destroying your cards, so that can be very, very nice. Having fun with this deck, but I kind of wish there was more support, more things that kind of helped hands do what they need to do. Maybe some spell trap support, but we'll have to see as time goes on. But if you guys have your own hand deck, you can post below. You can let me know in the comments. You can talk about what cards you use and make suggestions for me. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.